With us today on Champion News, we have Christiaan Burner from Restore Our Principles, Restoring America's Principles and Ethics. But right now, Jack, what's up with the Illinois Republican Party?
Well, it's a good thing, Christiaan Burner?
Yes.
Right. That you're getting young people interested in principles, because here in the state of Illinois, it's well known that we're the most crooked and we're the most financially busted state in the Union.
Even the Abyssinian goat herders,
and
right?
the weird thing about it is watching the gyrations of the Republican Central Committee here in the state of Illinois. And it's really one of the most senseless operations that you could imagine. And it's, well, what's gone wrong? We had a director of it, Andy McKenna, for some 5 years that managed to accomplish nothing. And then we had, we replaced him with Pat Brady, and he has recently decided he doesn't like the way the platform of the Republican Party states that marriage is a good thing, and that we should all comport ourselves to build good families. And he darted off suddenly and said, well, a marriage between two men is just fine. And so he committed the Central Committee of the Republican Party of Illinois to a policy of you know, let's let anybody get married. Guys, that's goofy. It's against his own platform. And so they finally, with a bunch of starts and fits, the Central Committee bounced him, well, they let him escape. And so with much more torturing themselves, they finally elected a guy to be the new chairman of it, a man named Dorgan. Not going to go heavily into him, but Dorgan is more a Democrat by his record than a Republican. And to elect him after a bunch of soul-searching by the 18 members of the Central Committee is really ridiculous. They have gone from the sublime, if you would, to the ridiculous. They've made themselves totally irrelevant. And how did all this happen? Well, it's organized wrong. The Central Committee of the Republican Party in Illinois is a creature of the congressional districts, which are about 18 in number. It varies now and then. As we lose out in the population thing, we get fewer and fewer of them. But there's 18 districts, and the 300,000 voters in a congressional district somehow produce a citizen that is going to represent them in the Central Committee of Illinois. That hasn't worked out very well. What they've got is a bunch of Tea Party people of the old-fashioned kind that drink that tea, and managed to come up with a monstrosity that has done practically no good.
I'm confused. You're not talking the Tea Party. There's a different Tea Party.
Different Tea Party. These people are not involved in practical politics.
You're talking the Republican.
The one good thing,
the Kool-Aid,
right?
Drinking
the Kool-Aid Party.
the Kool-Aid Party.
Okay.
The one good thing that's came out of it, because none of these ninnies really cared much about the platform. So some good people got in and gave us a good platform, which has to do with what the Republican Party should do. And of course, one of them is the family is important and marriage is important, and those are principles to be supported in the Republican Party. But Pat Brady comes along and scoots off and wants to tear that down and thinks that two guys make a nice family. Wow, what a nut. So they finally eased him out. They let him escape. And they...
so what were you talking about, the congressional districts? I know you were talking to me about...
It's organized wrong because it's organized in the congressional districts. Well, where do the congressional districts report? Largely to the national level and not to the state. They have no connection at all to the counties of the state or the House or the Senate. So they're useless for the main business of the state of Illinois. So they've ruined themselves. So goodbye, Central Committee of the Republican Party. So, and that's good rubbish because they're organized wrong. When you organize the thing around the congressional districts, you've abandoned the House and Senate and the counties of Illinois.
So what's the solution?
The solution is to reconstruct the Central Committee, have a new one. Let that one go off and be the Congressional Committee to the Congress, Central Committee of the Congress. We got to organize a new one, and we can do it as we go. And the new Central Committee should be reporting to the counties. There's 102 counties, and they all have committeemen that should be elected. Recently, we have changed the law that applies to the committeemen of the Republican Party, and they get to vote on who the chairman of the party is going to be in the counties and on the state, but they have to be elected by the people in their own precincts or they can't vote. Up to now, the chairman of the county got to vote the votes, the weighted votes of the Republicans. This is a party operation, and they got to vote them. But now that's over. We did get it changed that he can't vote them unless they have been elected. So we've taken care of that. Now the second thing is realize that the committee, because of its connection only with the Congress, is irrelevant. Forget about them. We will reorganize and change the rules a bit so that the counties, 102 counties of the state of Illinois, will generate a new Central Committee.
That actually makes better sense because you're getting more local to your local government.
Oh, absolutely. And it dignifies the committeemen, and there's about 6,000 of them. They're now going to be elected people that are going to be responsible to the people in their communities, and we're going to get more people on the ground doing good politics instead of this useless crap that's gone along with the now irrelevant Central Committee of the Republican Party.